Okay, here we go. It's the last part of Greece. No, not the film. We're not gonna go, best friends forever and la 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 dibbity dibbity dum. I can't remember the order of the words. Don't sue me. Anyway, so to get progress, we need to go through this wonderful tunnel of water. You are going to be very, very, very close to get through this. As you saw there, Lara was very, very, very nearly dead. Basically, we've got a nice massive water puzzle, just waiting for us through here. It's not fun. But the worries of Greece is going to be over soon. Because we're in the Tomb of Tihocan, who is our next thing that we need to deal with. Tihocan's a weird one. I'm not even quite sure how the hell they put that name together. It's the same with Qualopec. It's a very odd name. I mean, I guess they do kind of sound Atlantean. But I can't think of anything. Because literally the only thing relating to Tihocan and Qualopec as well is Tomb Raider. Oh, sod off, Pierre. I have better things to do than deal with you right now, thank you very much. Now, this room is huge, and thankfully, I do believe that it is literally the only room that we need to deal with in this tomb. It could have been a lot worse. Also, this is another weapon that we will be getting eventually, but we won't be getting it until our next location. Which, if you know Tomb Raider anyway, you'll know where it is, but I'm going to leave the mystery for a little bit longer. So that's how you're kind of technically meant to get up to there, but I just kind of went a little bit of a different tactic. Don't know why. It's felt right. And also, just want to make use of the epic grapple wall running skills that I have learned over the course of this game. Particularly because you definitely need to get your skills pitch perfect. Not quite the right analogy, but still. Need to get your skills in tip-top shape for later on, because you're gonna need those grapple wall running skills. You're gonna need all of it. So our first real tactic here is dropping off these crates, because we need them to push down on some pressure plates, I believe. And also I've realised this is basically Tomb Raider's Water Temple Mark II, because it follows a very similar method to our first water temple room, in that it's all about raising and lowering the water level, and it's rather tedious. Guys, you really shouldn't do multiple references to the water temple in a single level. It's not a pleasant thing to experience. I mean, I'm being a bit mean on the water temple. It's not the worst dungeon in the world, but it is tedious. It's the best way of describing it, really. Also, once again, it's times like this where the lack of music is just really off-putting for me. I know I've said it before, but it's so noticeable in this room. It's just like, you've just got this massive room in which not a lot's happening. I believe the music has kicked in a little bit now because we've got some alligators down in the pool of water there, waiting to kill us, and thankfully they are actually really, really easy to defeat, all things considered. But essentially, we need to jump in there with them and then get out very quickly. But then once you get to this point, you can just defeat them. Because even when the reticule's grey, you can still hit them, it just doesn't do as much damage. So, it's just like, oh, that's helpful. They really don't put up as much of a fight as they really should do, you know? But don't worry, we're going to be facing up against the boss, which is going to put up a fight, and quite the fight at that. Goodbye, alligator crocodile things, I can't quite tell what you are. I really probably should double check what enemies they are. Because I mean, it's very important to get these things right as to the names of your enemies. No, they're crocodiles and not alligators. Oh well. Now, an interesting thing is that basically they only really, well, you will generally only face crocodiles in the water. I mean, you can face them on land as well, but basically they can't climb out of the water, which is their one weakness. The first time that Lara ever has to face crocodiles that can climb out of the water is Tomb Raider 4: The Last Revelation. All the other ones just kind of stay in the water. There's one or two exceptions to that rule. But yeah, rather annoyingly, you can't attack the crocodiles in the water, because Lara has no harpoon. So basically, you've got to kill them from dry land and draw them out. It's a bit of a pain. But, oh well. Very interestingly, I don't quite know why, but someone decided to be very specific and see how many shots it takes to take down crocodiles in Tomb Raider 4 in particular. I don't know why. That seemed like a good idea, apparently. So it takes 35 pistol bullets, which is 18 shots, 35 bullets from Uzis, then 3 shots from normal shotgun ammo and wide shot shotgun ammo. I don't quite know the difference, but oh well. Now, that was a very, very reckless descent down to the bottom here. I'm quite glad it didn't go as badly as it really could have done, because that would have been interesting. So, this is what we had these crates for. It's basically just popping down these wonderful pressure plates, which lowers that, which, after we have raised the water level, means that we can utilise the raft which we've kind of freed and get out of this room. Unfortunately, we still got to collect stuff, because there's the artifact which is hidden... well, it's not hidden, it's in that other grated area. But to get that, we need to do a little bit of interesting manoeuvring. And well, first of all, we need to get out of this area, which is just like, I thought it'd be relatively easy. I mean, it is, when you actually stop to think about it. What you've got to do is jump up the ramp to get a little bit further up, so that, at least I think you do. You basically need to get high enough up the ramp to be able to do that, which is your ticket out of here. Now, as it stands right now, we need to move that raft into its correct location, which is just over there to the right. Once we've taken it there, you can just leave this room if you so chose to. It's completely up to you what you do. However, I am going to get that artifact, and I believe there may be another artifact in here, maybe. Either way, I like this room, but I also really dislike it. It's a fun puzzle, but it's just a wee bit too big for its own good, methinks. Although it's very, very easy to die right here, because you need to make this diagonal jump, and Lara doesn't like making that jump. She rather despises it. So it's not fun when you die there, and then you've got to pull the raft all the way back to where it was, and it's just like, why you do this to me? Why? Either way, now we need to get to the switch, which is going to let us get that artifact. I want that artifact is just kind of sitting there, being nice, and it deserves to be in my possession. Although I can't quite remember the location of said switch. I believe it's through here? Or not. My memory of this game is terrible. I only finished recording it a few weeks ago. As of when I'm doing the commentary recording. By the time this gets onto the YouTubes, it's gonna be a while. Now, my complete and utter confusion was in attempting to locate this little hole here. It's not quite clear that this is here. And I think it's kind of the flaw with the water in this game is that it's very, very difficult to see what you're aiming for until you have gone underwater. I mean, it makes sense, because this water is God knows how old. But it's still not a pleasant thing to try and do. It's also not pleasant water for Lara to be swimming in. I'm very surprised she isn't going to get very, very, very ill. Now, the switch to get that artifact is right there on that pillar. And we've got an interesting little time to get it. I can't remember whether this is on a time limit. I would hope not. I don't think it is. Because I think the time limit switches tend to be the ones that Lara has to pull down with all of her weight. You could also make the decision to lower all the water again if you wanted a, well, sort of safe way of getting down. It depends whether you are okay with all the swimming. But I mean, if you've managed to get this far into the game, you should be perfectly fine with Lara's swimming mechanics, because she really doesn't suffer that much. You just need to keep going, really. Now you can probably see what I mean by this room can be a bit tedious. It's just very long in everything. Either way, once we have, I think we've got to maybe manoeuvre the raft into a slightly better position, or not. There we go. We're out. We're finally out of that damn room. It's like probably one of the longest single rooms in the game, I would think. But the level's not over. We have a boss to defeat. And said boss is down the end of this flowing, very fast flowing stream of water. Although it's a little bit further than that, because we make it all the way over here. And we've got to head over a bit more swimming, because we are nearly at the real Tomb of Tihocan, which is where the Scion is housed. There is also an artifact which is rather evilly hidden. I mean, it could be a heck of a lot worse of where it is. But it's not pleasant to locate, because it requires swimming in this murk. And locating things in this murk is not fun. Especially because you've got to be very quick on your swimming. Very, 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 very quick. Because it's down a tunnel off to the side here, I believe. But the artifact is in the water, so you've got to get in, grab the artifact, get out, and get up to breathe. All in the same motion, which is always fun. And then to get to get into the tomb, we've got to do more swimming. Although I think that one's a little bit nicer. So yes, this is where our other artifact is. Thankfully, you don't have to go too far into the this little bit to find it, but you are still cutting it very, 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 very fine. Thankfully, you do have the whole thing of once you're out of breath, it's just kind of Lara's health ticks down. That is one thing that I will be very grateful for. Over the what they could have done, which is the Mario method of swimming, is if you run out of air, you die. It's also the same with a lot of games. It's just like, oh gosh. Now, you may be thinking, these statues look interesting. Yeah, do remember them, because they are probably going to be rather important very soon. But as I was saying, the switch that we are looking for is underwater. And it's very difficult to spot from up above. So you're going to have to get down and dirty in the water. It's basically heading kind of straight on to the main platform. It's kind of on the front to the... it's kind of to the leftish a bit. I really, really wish that we had the light switch thing from the last game. Well, from Tomb Raider Legend in here. And I believe you do have it in the Wii version of Tomb Raider Anniversary. I don't quite know why it isn't here. I mean, I guess it's because they wanted to stay incredibly true to the original game, which is fair enough. But it does make seeing in the water a lot more of a challenge than it needs to be. Also, whoever decided it was a good idea to put the switch to open the door down here seriously likes swimming. Because, I mean... because if you need to shut the door, you need to kind of swim down here. If you need to open the door, you need to... it's not very well thought out, other than for keeping people out. Which is evidently the point. But it's still, you'd think, whilst they were making it, just leave it be. Either way, we're in the tomb, let's grab that piece of the Scion. Or, you know, have a little look around. I can't see Pierre getting very far here.
Here lies the god king Tihocan, one of the triumvirate, keepers of the 3 pieces of the Scion, leader of the Chosen after the great betrayal caused Atlantis to be lost beneath the waves.
And his body's not there, which is very bizarre.
Instincts can be expensive, mademoiselle.
Oh, sod off,
Yours
Pierre.
are going to cost you both pieces of the Scion.
That's not a price I'm prepared to pay.
Don't be absurd. No job is worth dying for.
Yes, it is.
So we get another quick time event, or as the game likes to call them, super actions. I don't know why they want to call them super actions, but they are. Also, I didn't quite get Pierre's method here. Why the heck would you throw away your guns? Like, what sense does that make?
On second thought, you have it.
Oh, I thank you, Pierre.
Bonne chance.
How very kind of you. I don't think they care. So yes, our fight is against these wonderful centaur. Now, these fellas are a challenge if you don't know what to do. Basically, you need to get them enraged, as you do with all of the bosses in the game. And then, when they getting enraged, they will do one of 2 things. One of them is this petrification beam. If Lara has her guns out, then she will be frozen. And I don't think it's necessarily an instant death, but they will hurt you badly. However, if you get the other move, which is them charging you, then you can grapple their shield away from them, and from then, whenever they use the wonderful petrification beam, you can reflect it back at them. It's a really fun idea for a boss, particularly because you do have to deal with both of them at the same time. And it's just an interesting method of doing things. Also, I do really like that they went the extra distance in making sure that Pierre's, oh, yeah, it's not an instant death, but, the centaurs will hurt you a lot if you don't get out of it quickly. But, yeah, as I was saying, I really like that they have Pierre's body, just sitting there, because it's keeping the continuity, which is unusual for games these days sometimes. They just tend to leave the, like, just remove the bodies for some bizarre reason. They just decided that's a good idea. But, with that, our boss is defeated. And, ooh. God, that's nasty. Didn't realise you could see how far his neck had been twisted to the side. Oh, God. So yes, we put the pieces of the Scion together, and then we get this incredibly bizarre, pseudo-dream sequence. I'm not even sure what it is. It's a vision, I guess you could say.
You have tainted the power of the Scion. In betraying your fellow kings, you have broken the sacred triumvirate of Atlantis. You have maimed Qualopec, your own brother.
I am still here, wretch. Tihocan has ended your treachery. But it is my face you will see in your nightmares.
What have you to say for yourself?
And so, now we know where the last piece of the Scion is. Well, roughly. Lara knows where it is now, and that's where we're heading next. Next piece of the Scion is in Egypt. So, let's go.